Sorry I didn't come with Filter Podcast. It is Wednesday edition. It is hump day. Women Crush Wednesday. I am crushing it today. Any pictures? My intro will be up again. I will do it again for my YouTube. So, how's everybody working? How's everybody going? Oh boy, it is my Wednesday. I am so sorry. I am so amped up right now. I have to go and grab a bottle of water. See that later. Oh, there we go. Much better. I am much happier. I am much more relaxed. Again, from yesterday, I was a little stressed out. My Filmora did not work yesterday. For some weird reason, my upload had to be uploaded at like 1:30 in the morning today. So, sorry. Fuck me. Probably got to make sure some of this shit is updated. Like, literally updated. And I'm so getting messed up. Anyways, what is I gonna say now? Oh yes, it's Women Crush Wednesday, I should say. So Jordan Jones, of course, is always going to be there. There's Sky Blue, Roxy, aka Roxana Perez of the NXT, Cora Jade, Katie Smigman, and Julianne Kissinger. Those are my Women Crush Wednesday favorites, of course. So booyah on that end. I just finished up on my DJ, my another song, so I'm going to be releasing that today, or possibly today. I might have it uploaded. And I just look like I just took a piss on myself. Yay, look at that, water. I think I was talking about yesterday, I'm pretty much not giving a shit about life. That's pretty much how I am going right now. I'm really fucking happy about shit. I am I'm just in such a great mood. I'm so happy where I am in life. I am more and more in tune to doing what I want, how I feel. I just don't generally give a shit no more. So, I'm going to jump into some sports. Last night my Nucks lost in overtime to Ottawa. Not such a big deal to me. They still have points. They're still mathematically in. They just need to take these two, the small home game or away games that they got, these two, pack on those 4 points, and they'll be all right. So, you know, it's coming to crushing. It's crushing down. So let's go over to the NBA first. So your first round brackets, Heats are taking a 2-0 lead. The Heat's going to take out the Hawks. 76ers are going to take out the Raptors. Today's game, Bucks and Bulls. I say the Bucks are just going to take this series. Celtics and Nets. It's, you know, a lot of people are saying the Celts, but I'm thinking the Nets are going to take this series. They're probably going to go and push to 6 or 7 on that front. Pelicans and the Suns are tied. This is an interesting series to me because it is a tied series. So I wouldn't be counting my goose eggs on that one. The Mavs don't have Doncic, and they're facing the Jazz and are tied. A lot of people are saying the Jazz could beat, or the Mavs could beat the Jazz. I don't know. It's really iffy. Warriors are going to beat on the Nuggets one way or another. And the Grizzlies yesterday, they surprisingly pulled out a huge victory against the Wolves. So, you know, that series is tied at 1. I'm saying the Grizzlies. I'm calling the Heat, 76ers, the Bucks. I'll say the Suns. I know the Suns are just going to pull it around. Even without Devin Booker, they'll pull it around. The Warriors, yeah, you know, I said the Grizz. I cannot say anything else to that degree. Because I don't know with the Nets. I just don't know. The Nets and Celtics series is a testy series to me. It could go either way. And that's just not something I'm up to even have an argument on. Because both teams are really good. You know, the Celtics have the defensive player of the year in Marcus Smart. So, you know, that could lean to them. But it's vice versa. MLB standings right now. It's early, I know. The Blue Jays are 6-5. It's not a bad start. I don't know why everybody's saying it's a bad start. It's a pretty good start. The Red Sox, surprisingly enough, are up in the first place there. The Rays, I'm a little surprised with. That's about as far as I can see that. Oh, that's why. My hand was on the mouse pad. My bad. Angels, Athletics, of course, they're in the AL West and they're up on top. So the Guardians, I'm a little shocked with how the Central's going, because the Twins loaded up, so did the Tigers. You know, it's what it is on that side. I'm not Mr. Baseball prediction on that, but if I go and look in the NL Central, you got Cardinals, the Brewers. Surprisingly, the Cubs. The Reds are so dismal. 2-10. That is just horrible. Horrible. The Mets, again, this is a team that went out, spent money, got players, traded for players. So they're huge in that end. And the Nats are meh. Now I'm really surprised with the Phillies. But again, Bryce Harper and all of them can't really do much together. NL West, the Dodgers and the Rockies are up there. The Giants, the Padres. I'm not worried about the Diamondbacks too much. You see, I love the NL East and the AL East and the NL West, just because I'm a Canadian guy, but I'm a West Coast guy, so I'm repping the Dodgers. I love my Dodgers. Blue and white is the Greek flag. Red and white is the Canadian flag. So I'm a Canadian. I'm a Canadian Greek. What can I say? I'm an asshole. But yeah, it's early in the season. But if you're gonna look at playoff predictions, I wouldn't push a lot of teams out. Certain ones, especially maybe the Reds can. You can say the Reds are out mathematically, because it's 12 games in and they're 2-10, so they're pretty much a shit ball team. The Rangers, this is the shock. The Rangers in the AL West is bottom of the heap. Got Corey Seager, got Marcus Semien. And I think Marcus Semien might have made a bad choice. He got paid at a time he shouldn't have been getting paid, and now he's in a team that's literally struggling for run support. That's my opinion on that front. To flip it on that end of the baseball, you can't really just spend money and think you're going to get the results back right away. Okay, the Mets did, but the Mets already had the formula in place. They were just placing the proper chips, and the chips went in. It fell into where it's supposed to be. The thing I look at right now, I'm going to have to get up. Okay, conference. Why am I in the division? I don't like division. I want the conference. There we go. So that's my front to that. Hey, NFL hasn't started yet, so if I'm going to talk about Premier League, I'm not going to talk about it. My condolences and all that go out to Cristiano Ronaldo. I can't believe he lost one of his twins. That is sad. That is extremely sad. I don't know how that a person who's being murdered and they're alive, I kind of understand that's a different realm, but your newborn child and it's twins and one dies, I don't know how. I can't even explain. I'm just so lost for words on that. I feel so bad for him. I don't care about what's happening in the Premier League season. That's the thing. I don't care. How can anybody say that, it is one of those bad luck thing? I don't know. I'm really sad for it. I've heard some people, I know one person who doesn't like Ronaldo's face, but I told him about what happened, and he's like, couldn't say anything because of his attitude. His attitude's shit. So, let's go on to a lighter note here. Alright. The West is still up for grabs. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. With the Canucks tying Vegas Knights right now, so they're only 4 points out, legitimately, and 5 points behind LA. So this is really coming down to, like, the Canucks could run the table, or somebody can actually help the Canucks in another aspect of beating LA. So the Canucks could make it. That'll be the third team. So you'll have possibly 4 Canadian teams in the playoffs, probably for the first time in a while. And I'd be ecstatic. I would have loved to have seen, okay, Winnipeg has a chance, but they are at 81. Who are they going to catch? They need 10 points to get to 8th place with 5 games left. Dallas has a game at hand. So Dallas has a game at hand. Canucks have a game at hand. If they don't catch Dallas, they certainly could catch LA, jump into the 3rd place position, which would mean they'd face Minnesota in the first round. I know history has said that Vancouver doesn't do well in the first round against certain teams like that. Oh, breaking news. NHL will be holding their draft lottery on May 10th. Look at that. Woo! Yippee-ki-yay. To me, I don't give a damn. But the formula, like, to tell you honest truth, I probably said this on one of my earlier podcasts. I would really like to see the play-in round. Like the NBA has a play-in round. Why not? Because honestly, a lot how I'm hearing things, Kings shouldn't be in the playoffs. Maybe the Predators shouldn't be in the playoffs. Maybe the Stars shouldn't be in the playoffs. But this buy-in round would really work if you go, say 8th to 11th, maybe 8th or 7th to 11th or 6th to 11. So 1, 2. You'd have 3 play-in rounds. I would not disagree with that. 3 playoff games. Well, actually, no, that wouldn't work. That's one too many teams. My bad. Okay, from 6 to 9 or 10 it would work. You get that, or 7th to 10 would work in a way that you get teams in that should probably get in. The problem, I would probably say, it's a hard one to talk about. Okay, so the goal differential between Canucks. So if the Canucks and somehow the Kings end up tying for points in the Pacific, Canucks would win it on a goal differential by plus 16. So they're up on goals. Okay, that works. That works for me. I don't really mind even the goal differential to, solidify people to get into the playoffs just goals alone, because that just shows you how much more that team has played compared to other teams that didn't play as well. Because I don't like it when I see, you got teams that go into the playoffs. Oh, crap. They get into the playoffs, but they didn't do as well as other teams. That's my biggest problem with that. You can't always assume that, the only reason why they got in is because they had this, and this. Well, so does other teams. They have this, and this. I don't agree with that, with assumptions from other fan bases. Like, I could say, why don't the Canucks make the playoffs? They had a way better team than your team. But I'm not going to say that. The Canucks, at the beginning of the season, had a real rough season. They were 6-14-2 in the first 22 games. So the first 22 games, you're 6-14-2. That, I would say, no, they didn't deserve it. But now they're moving towards, with this massive turnaround in December to now, it was like, oh, maybe it was just the coach. Maybe it was just the management. Maybe it was both. You got rid of them. You brought in new. You got things going. You got the ball rolling. Thing I disagree with was the trade deadline of Mott. Mott got injured, but, that's... I hate that. So I'm going to jump to where... let's see what the playoff picture looks like. Okay, so... in the East, you got Florida and Washington. Florida-Washington is going to be a very, very tough series, especially that Ovechkin's going to be trying to push that mark for those goals. Because I believe the whole Gretzky record was a combined of regular season and playoffs. So... Ovechkin's going to be head hunting for that stuff. He's going to be puck hunting. Not head hunting, but puck hunting for goals like there's no tomorrow. Bruins versus Carolina will be another intense one. Freddie Anderson is apparently out for Carolina, so that will make it a lot harder for Carolina to really compete. But, again, Linus Ullmark, I don't believe he's ever played a playoff game. So, dicey on that one. I would call it Carolina in 7. Either Florida or Washington win in 6. I can't really make a real strong prediction on that one. Toronto versus Pittsburgh. Okay, Pittsburgh apparently doesn't have Tristan Jarry, but they do have Cody DeSmith. And Cody DeSmith, though, I will not cast anything aside on that guy. He is... between both these young guys, they are really good goalies. And, maybe my team had his number once in a while. But he does play a certain style of hockey that a lot of other, I think, teams at critical points don't know or see, really. And I almost lost something there. I didn't like that. Just got to charge something here. I think this is the right charger. There we go. I had to charge another tablet, that's why. Pittsburgh does have a strong team. That's all I can really say. But Toronto is playing up on a tempo. They're sitting Matthews right now, resting him. The load management term came up, so he's probably being load management right now. So the playoffs, he's fresh, he's ready to go. He can kick somebody's ass, and he can load up on goals. So is, I think, Marner too at the same time. So they're like, but you got to keep your Nylander, you got to keep Tavares. Can't always load management all your star guys. You got to let the fan base see some of these guys. So my pick on that front, Pittsburgh, Toronto in 5, hopefully. If it's Pittsburgh probably will take it to 6. That's the Pittsburgh style of play for that first round. Then you got Tampa versus New York. Okay. I also heard again, Vasilevsky's not playing up to par like he was last few seasons. He's kind of struggling. But again, they do have a proper backup here. I believe it's Ben Bishop. I'm not 100% sure. So that's what I'm taking away on that. But don't ever discredit. I know Igor Shesterkin and Greg Gergorov are doing so well for New York. But again, New York is fresh to the playoffs. With such a young roster coming, Capo Kakinen, Lafayette, all those guys are up there. They're young. I just named 2 of the top young prospects on that. Rookies, players, I would say Tampa in 6 against New York. That's how I see it. So if I have to kind of imagine what the West would look like, okay, so you got, if they started tomorrow, you got Colorado versus Dallas. Colorado will sweep that series 4 games. I don't care. They're playing playoff hockey now. Like, they literally started probably last week playing playoff hockey, and they don't even need to play the playoff hockey right now, but they're just storming the shit out of people. And when you got McKinnon, McCarr, Landeskog, Kadri's having a hell of a season this year. You got Mikko Rantanen. You got all these guys. They're just fucking pounding the hell out of these guys. Their goaltending is not up to par, I would say, but, you know, they're doing well. Francois is doing very well for himself, so take it from there as much as you want to judge me. Calgary versus Nashville, I would say Calgary beats Nashville 4-0 in a series. Just because Nashville, I'm sorry, UC Saros is not your Pekka Rinne. Their defensive core is really old. You got Dan Ellis there. You got Roman Josi. You got Matthias Ekholm. Ekholm. Those three are really long in the tooth in age on defense. They still do produce the way they would usually, but it's just they're at an age where they're just, yeah. I think Nashville's ready to implode after this season. It is an implosion, so it's going to be a done deal on that front. Minnesota versus LA. Minnesota would demolish LA in probably 5 games. I'd give LA 1 game, and that's probably at home, and I would probably say game 3. And then the next 2 games would be just Minnesota not annihilating the hell out of you. So, you know, you got Marc-Andre Fleury there. And he's a playoff goalie, so I'm not going to discredit a man who's won cups, who's backed in gold medal games too, and all this other shit. That guy is a solidified. And like I would say, Vegas Knights gave up the wrong goalie. Leonard should have been going the way to Chicago, back to Chicago where he came from, and Fleury stay in Vegas. But that's my opinion. I have nothing against Leonard, but it was you traded the wrong goalie. That's my call. St. Louis versus Edmonton. Okay. This is where I get a little sideways on where I'm going with this one. St. Louis has a really good goaltending system with Bennington and Husso. Husso is a very good backup. I will not discredit that man. That man's an excellent backup. Bennington is a guy who came out of a middle of nowhere a few years back for St. Louis to win a Stanley Cup, where like St. Louis was the Vancouver version, and somehow they were the bottom of the fucking barrel in the West, and whoosh, shot right through the regular season, the playoffs, won the cup. You got your Bennington. But there's a but to this now. No Pietrangelo on that defensive core. Yes, you got the younger version of what Pietrangelo is in Colton Parayko. Colton Parayko is a very solid, top, elite defenseman. I will give you that, and I will always give you that. That freaking guy's amazing. Then, if you go and look, their forwards, their oldest guy on the forward line is Ryan O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly, no offense, he's a great forward player. You know, he still produces, but he's getting long in the tooth. Tarasenko, I don't believe is the same Tarasenko that we saw the last previous seasons to now. He's not the same. He hasn't been the same with that whole fiasco going on. Wants to be traded out of St. Louis and all that. So it's kind of got, I'm guessing it's washing out of his head, but I'm not 100% sure on that front. But Edmonton has its own problems, its own demons. And I should tell you, if you're an Edmonton fan, Edmonton is they're good offensively. Defensively, they have some drawbacks. Evan Bouchard's your young upcoming defenseman. You got Darnell Nurse up in there. got, I believe, Chris Russell up in there. And that, again, their defense isn't as solid as it should be. Their goaltending, yes, their new head coach is getting a lot out of Mikko Heiskanen Koskinen, Mikko Koskinen, that's it, Koskinen. And Mike Smith being the older vet out of the entire group is, he should be dominating, but he isn't dominating like he should be. So I'd say that series in the West would be a 7-game series. Edmonton would take it in 7, but it'd be a highly contested series. But I'm not 100% sure where else it would go. So those are like what I would say. Mental health is doing great today. I'm actually really, really feeling great. I'm just in an absolute terrific mood. I don't know why. I got something up my ass like there's no more. I'm just woo, happy. Yeah, I haven't really fallen back into any of my old styles of life. I just kind of let it go. I'm not going to discard anything. I'm sorry. I got to get a new lamp. That lamp is dead, I think. It's pretty much dead. It flickers. I don't have a ghost up in this shit, so don't worry. It'll flicker. I probably will show you guys something. I had to go out for new... I had to get construction... I had to get my steel toes. First pair of Timberlands, and they had to be work boots, so... I'm not going to complain about that. That's pretty cool for me. To move forward, life in general has become more and more enjoyable. I'm not bored. I'm a little bored, but I'm not going to say anything wrong. I'm not going to do anything that's judgmental. I don't care anymore about just certain things. I'm not going to live my life according to somebody else's rules. I'm going to do what I want, and that's it. Apparently, I'm a dick to a lot of people. Some people have called me a dick lately, and I'm like, that's okay. I like being a dick. At least you know I'm a man. Pro wrestling. I swear to God, NXT was doing really well until like last night's episode got me really, really confused. And I'm just really confused on that. So I'm not even gonna specify what I watched last night. Raw was a little, yeah, it is what it is. I'm still trying to figure out this whole what do you call it? Unification on title belts. I don't know. I'm guessing they're leaving the whole brand split gone. They're just throwing it to the side and just discontinuing it for whatever reason. Which I probably grant that it's probably good. Might as well just destroy it. But keep the main two, your mid-card titles, your US and your Intercontinental, because you're going to need those. That's that front. AEW tonight is on. Wardlow versus Butcher. So I guess if Wardlow wins, and it's in the Owen Hart tournament, but I believe if he wins, he gets his match with Max, MJF. So I'm going to say it. MJF, he's a smug dickhead of a pro wrestler. Like, he is like your ultimate heel that has come alive. Like, this is probably a heel that hasn't been around for quite some time. And yeah, he's good at it. He's a smug dick. But again, I'm not going to say he's a terrific wrestler or a great wrestler because I've only seen him in a handful of matches. He doesn't wrestle as much, and he's getting paid a ton of money over in AEW, but I don't know. It's kind of a nonsensical shit going on over there, but whatever. Dan Lambert, get the hell out of pro wrestling. Okay? Stop trying to be a Paul Heyman ripoff. You douchebag. Get out of there. He's trying to portray himself as a MMA Paul Heyman guy, and it's like, you're not Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was the only one who could do it, and don't do it. Just leave it to the originals. That's my take on pro wrestling right now. As I say, I'm more following my sports. I'm following hockey. Because it's the playoffs, and playoffs to me are the best. I love playoffs. Playoffs in sports, extremely exciting. High energy excitement. That's what I love. So I'm gonna just leave it on that today. I will talk to you guys all later. And yeah, probably another podcast up tomorrow, maybe Friday, depending on how I am feeling and what I am doing. You guys all have a great Wednesday, hump day, and remember, crush on your women.